Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And first up, we've got some really good news for the American Gundam Wing fans. Because recently, Gundam teamed up with HUF for some really cool Gundam Wing inspired apparel. And they were nice enough to send some my way to show it off. I'm currently wearing the Wing Zero custom soccer jersey and the 01 Sherpa jacket. And the only problem that I've got now is that I've noticed that whenever I get close to my high-grade Leos, they have developed a tendency to spontaneously combust. But as always, the links to get some of this awesome stuff for yourself is of course down below. Oh, and in case you're wondering where the Wing Gundam is on this Sherpa jacket, it is on both the inside and on the backside. Also, it was way too floofy and hot to be wearing throughout the entire video. So, a new month of course means a new Gunpla schedule, and this time around it is filled to the brim with Gundam build Metaverse kits, which is really good news for me because I've been wanting to work on my backlog for quite a while now. So, on the 2nd, for 2,530 yen, 17 US, we are getting the high-grade Plutine Gundam, which is the core Gundam 2 Plus with the Pluto armor, meaning that you'll also have a lot of easy expandability beyond what is included in the box. And it also comes with parts that are made with recycled plastic, being Ecopla, so it is also better for the environment as well. And for 2,750 yen, 19 US, you can get the Gundam 00 Diver Arc, which comes with light up in the dark effect parts. And now I also just kind of want a pair of regular pink beam sabers that also light up in the dark just for a normal Gunpla. On the 9th then, you can get the SDW Heroes Nobunaga's Warhorse for 1,045 yen, 7 US. And finally on the 16th, there is the Tifia's Gundam Chimera for 8,800 yen, 60 US. A pretty big mobile armor and mobile suit that was piloted by a pretty petty pilot. But purely model kit wise, this thing also comes with a nice array of accessories and gimmicks. And then the biggest news that I saw this week might just have come from the Amusement Expo, which was held in Tokyo. And at this expo, they showed off a bunch of upcoming Gundam things and also showed off a few new ones, with the most interesting ones being these acrylic stands from Gundam Seed Freedom. They're going to be arcade prizes and will be released in January in 2 sets of 6. Set 1 is Kira, Lacus, Shin, Lunamaria, Maru, and Mu, and set 2 is Atheron, Kigali, Izak, Diarca, Orphe, and Shura. And I really want to draw your attention to the artwork of Lacus, Shin, and Shura. So first up, we see Lacus in a very fancy dress, which leads me to believe that she's going to get married. Now, it could be an outfit for a song, but with Kira being in the position that he is, I think they're going to get married. Right after which, Kira is going to get his villain arc. Shin then found a sword somewhere and is doing his best Hajime Saito impression. Luna looks like she's trying to stop him, but knowing Shin, there's gonna be no stopping him. And then the other person who has a sword is Shura, and in fact, it is the same type of sword. So maybe he gave that sword to Shin for some reason, but I'm getting Zeta Gundam flashbacks here, specifically to the scene where the Argama crew went to negotiate with Haman, and Quattro blew the entire thing up. So, translated to Gundam Seed Freedom, that would be like Shin and friends are gonna have a meeting with the Foundation people, something goes wrong, and then Shin grabs a nearby sword to do something. Oh, and Diarca is trying to find a new girlfriend. The other new things then are these Chibi Gurumi plushies of Kira, Atheron, Lacus, Izak, and Diarca, which will be hitting Namco arcades in January. These absolutely terrifying horror form plushies, which will be hitting arcades on December the 26th, with the available characters being Suletta, Mirine, Guel, Elan, Shadiq, Kira, Atherin, Lacus, Shin, and Izak. Now, I'm sure there are some people out there who find them cute, but I find them absolutely cursed. And then the final new things from this expo are these two multi-cloths that have illustrations taken from Gundam Seed's endings and will be hitting Namco arcades in January. Also, some good news for a previous figure that we saw. The prize figure of Lacus looks significantly better here. And on top of that, Atherin now also looks relatively passable. The prize figure of Kira, though, still looks like it's a bootleg of the actual figure. And then one day later, we got more Gundam Seed merchandise announcements, with the most adorable one being the Gundam Seed Freedom Gyugyuto collection. It is an adorable rendition of Kira, Lacus, Atherin, Kigali, Shin, Lunamaria, Izak, Diarca, and Kira and Atherin, each hugging a big Horo. And you can get these designs on a keychain for 748 yen each, 5 US, a mini acrylic stand for 660 yen each, 4 US, or a can batch set, which is 4,950 yen for the whole set, 34 US. And all of these cute things are slated for a January release. Slightly crazier then are these Gundam Seed Freedom character photo sticks. It's the same lineup as the Gyugyuto collection, but now also with Mu and Maru, and the idea behind these is that they have a stick attached to them, so that you can easily hold them in front of your camera without your hand showing up. So you can take a picture with the character in it. And my favorite one of the bunch is definitely Diarca because of his pose. It really looks like he's trying to present whatever is in the picture. They go for 1,650 yen each, 11 US, and are slated for a February release. And staying with Gundam Seed Freedom is getting a Metaverse event. And now, I know what you're thinking. I was thinking it at first too. But this event is not related to the Gundam Metaverse. Remember how a lot of people were saying that VR chat is actually superior to the Gundam Metaverse in every single way? Well, this new exhibition is actually going to be held in VR chat as part of the Virtual Market 2023 Winter Edition. So from December the 2nd until the 17th, this virtual booth will be in existence for you to visit and screenshot. And if you're in Japan, they'll also have a physical location on the 16th and the 17th in Shibuya and Harajuku. And I almost forgot that I went to the summer version of this thing, which was held in Akihabara. So when I was walking through Akihabara, I literally just stumbled across it. It looked interesting and the entry was free, which is also the case for the winter event, so I decided, why not check it out? And well, as someone who isn't really into VR, there wasn't a lot to see there. The event itself, well, the venue itself was rather small, so I was able to see everything in 5 minutes. Quite literally. And the biggest things that stuck with me were the free energy drink that I got, and the fake horses that you could sit on to, I guess, enhance your VR horse riding adventure. I didn't go stand in line to see what they were all about. So yeah, when they talk about how many visitors they attracted, I can't help but wonder how many of those were actually super into it and how many of them were just like me. Because again, the entry was free, they were handing out free drinks, and it was on the main street of Akihabara. So you're just going to walk by it, and I mean, there's no reason not to go check it out. Like, while I wasn't blown away, it was cool to see, and I'm sure it'll be the same for this winter version. For the Gunpla then, we go to the Gundam E Festival 2023, where the lineup of limited edition kits just dropped, and amongst them was a new one. The high-grade, the Gundam-based limited Gundam Mk.II Titan's Colors 21st Century Real Type version. It is slated for a March release, goes for $22, and of course promptly sold out. The blue and black don't seem that different, but the yellow now is gold, the gray is more silvery, and I also believe that the red is slightly lighter. And it will of course come with some new markings. Another new kit then that so far has only popped up on the American side is the Gundam Seed 20th Anniversary Set Metallic Color version, which is also slated for a March release and goes for $83 US. Included in the set are the Real Grade Freedom, Real Grade Justice, and High Grade Providence. And for anyone trying to get this set, based on the price and the images, the figures don't have a metallic coating, which is the fancier, more expensive, and much better looking option. But they're simply made with more sparkly plastic, which does look good on mobile suits with darker colors like the Providence and the Justice Gundam, but not quite as good on lighter mobile suits like the Freedom. But for fans of the Freedom, I do have some good news. You might remember the Real Great Freedom Gundam version GCP, which looks so much better than the vanilla Real Great Freedom Gundam, and you might even want to call it like the Real Great Freedom Gundam version 2.0. But the problem with that thing was that it was limited to China. But on December the 2nd, it'll become available at the Gundam base in Japan, and should also become available in America at a later date. So keep your eyes peeled. And what is also interesting is that if you snag it in Japan, it actually got cheaper. In China, it went for 299 yuan or 42 US, and in Japan, it'll go for 3,850 yen, which is only 26 US. On the gaming front then, let's immediately get the worst news out of the way. Yesterday was the final day you could play Gundam Evolution, which was Bandai's attempt at a Gundam-themed Battle Royale esports title that unfortunately only lasted for little over a year. Better news then comes to us from UC Engage, especially on the Japanese version, where they are celebrating their 2nd year anniversary with 8,000 diamonds, up to 200 gacha pulls, the RX-78 F00 Gundam, and a limited gacha featuring the UR V2 Assault Gundam and UR Uso Evan. So something to look forward to for when the global version catches up. And talking about that global version, this week they got the UR Zeta Gundam and UR Camille Bidon as extreme limited units. In Gundam Battle Operation 2 then, the Angsha joined the fun, and in the Gundam Arsenal-based arcade game, Link Stage Season 4 went live, featuring new units and characters from Gundam Seed Destiny, 0080, 0083, Shark's Counterattack, and more. And in other news, the Mobile Suit Girl of the Week is a really cool reimagining of the Zakuto from SD Gundam, and from December the 1st until the 13th, they're holding an exhibition to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Tenjin Hidetaka's career as an artist. And even if the name doesn't ring a bell, there is no doubt that you've seen some of his art on model kit boxes. And the best thing of all is that admission to this exhibition is completely free, so just as with that Metaverse thingy, there is no reason not to check it out if you're in Tokyo. I'll have a link to the venue down below, and while you're there, there are also some goodies for you to pick up. There's a catalog/art book for 2,600 yen, 18 US, a poster for 1,100 yen, 7 US, a mug for 1,760 yen, 12 US, 5 types of acrylic stand for 1,100 yen each, 7 US, Votum art prints for 1,100 yen, 7 US, or framed and signed versions for 41,800 yen, 283 US. As for the other things you could get this week, on the 25th from the Gundam base, we got the Master Grade Zaku Cannon Zeta Gundam version for 6,600 yen, 45 US, which is simply a recolor of the standard version that also comes with a new slide of water slide decals, meaning that in addition to its cannon and rocket launchers, it also still comes with a standard Zaku machine gun, Zaku bazooka, and heat hawk. And on the same day as a regular release, we got the Robot Spirit Sword Striker and Effect Part Set version anime for 4,730 yen, 32 US, Strike Gundam sold separately. What it does come with is, of course, the Sword Striker pack, a base to put it on, a wire for the grappling anchor, standard beam effect part for the beam boomerang in action, 2 standard effect parts for the Schwertgewehr, and 1 slicing the blitz in half effect part. Remember, Kira swung first. From the beginning of the week then, the premium Gachapon Capsule Action Gym was deployed to Gachapon machines across Japan. And what makes this thing so premium is that you're getting a significantly more elaborate action figure / model kit, either in standard colors or in mechanical clear colors, and of course, the price. 15 100 yen coins, making for a total of 10 US. Next up, on the 29th, we got 2 CDs. In celebration of the Build Series' 10th anniversary, there's a 3 CD compilation set featuring some of the Build Series' biggest hits for 4,400 yen, 30 US. So don't let this cover deceive you. It does have more than just Gundam Build Metaverse on it. And for the same price, you can get Volume 1 of the Asticassia School of Technology Radio Committee from Automart. It has episode 1 to 17, plus a newly recorded episode specifically for the CD. And then today we got a bunch of phone cases. Of course, only for the iPhone, because this is Japan that we're talking about. For 4,048 yen, 28 US, you can get a hybrid glass case with either the Freedom Gundam or ZAFT logo for the iPhone 14, 14 Pro, 13, 13 Pro, 12, or 12 Pro. And then for 2,178 yen, 15 US, there is a multi-ring, which you can then squeeze between your phone and the case so that you can hang it from things. As for this week's reading material then, there was the January issue of Shonen Sunday Super, in which Gundam Aggressor is being serialized, the 24th issue of Big Comic Superior, in which Gundam Thunderbolt is being serialized, Gundam Weapons focusing on the Gundam Build series in celebration of its 10th anniversary, the January issue of Model Graphics featuring a special on Girls und Panzer das Finale, and also a variety of Gunpla like the Lufrith Ur, Lufrith Thorn, and Build Strike Exceed Galaxy. There was the January issue of Hobby Japan featuring the Eclipse Gundam Unit 2, the January issue of Gundam Ace, in which a Gundam Seed Freedom novel has begun serialization, and the return of Johnny Raiden has returned. Then another novel, volume 3 of which from Mercury was released. The 7th chapter of the Flanagan Boone manga was published for free online and is linked down below. And on top of that, its first physical volume was also released this week. And 2 more physical mangas that were released this week were the 3rd volume of Gundam Sequel and the 3rd volume of War in the Pocket. Something a bit different then is a book on the Studio Ghibli cinematography of Atsushi Okui, someone who has also worked on Char's Counterattack, and in the book we'll also find some commentary by Yoshiyuki Tomino. And from another Gundam legend, we got the book that we talked about last week. An art book that is all about the manga of Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. And alongside the book, it was also announced that next year, an exhibition will be held that is all about those manga. It'll be at the Hyogo Prefectural Museum of Arts from June the 8th until September the 1st, and at the Iwami Art Museum from September the 21st until December the 2nd. On to this week's Gundam apparel then, all of which is of course linked down below, as well as a guide on how to get them. And as usual, Strict G kicked things off on Friday, this time also with some floofy jackets. The Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Boa Jacket Collection. For 19,800 yen a pop, 134 US, you can get a white jacket styled after the Freedom Gundam, a burgundy one styled after the Justice Gundam, or a gray one styled after the Strike Rouge. I mean, there is some gray on the Strike Rouge, I guess. And then the second collection, which was also released on that day, is the Pocket T-shirt collection. Featuring t-shirts with a breast pocket that also has a Gundam logo on it. For 3,630 yen, 25 US, you can get a khaki one with the Xeon logo, a khaki one with the Tekadon logo, or a white one with the Vist Foundation logo. And then for 4,730 and 32 US, you can get a long sleeve t-shirt in white with the Xeon logo, in black with Amro's logo, or in navy with the Mk.II logo. And for people who spent over 20,000 yen, 136 US, whether it be online or in a physical store, there is also this special Haro blanket. The campaign will last until December 25th, or as long as supplies last. And from December the 1st until the 3rd, there is going to be a pop-up Strict G store in Taiwan, where they'll be selling a lot of Strict G items, with this amazing looking Caliborn t-shirt being a limited item there. But Bunkure wasn't about to be outdone this time around, because on that same day, Bunkure announced a whopping 5 different collections all at once. And it's really things like this that make me wonder if there's actually this one hardcore fan in Japan that is trying to keep up with everything. Like, keeping up with Gunpla, manga, or Blu-ray releases is still relatively easy, but the apparel is on a whole nother level if you look at what gets released and announced every week. But then again, Gundam fans in Japan are also on a whole nother level, so who knows? But regardless, 3 of the 5 collections are character specific. Another Hamon-Kon collection, a Keel/Diana collection, and a Flay Ulcer collection. So for Hamon, we are getting 2 different designs. One has her name in front of her uniform's elaborate markings and is available on a white t-shirt for 4,400 yen, 30 US, a bath towel for also 4,400 yen, 30 US, a mug for 2,530 yen, 17 US, and an acrylic stand for 1,980 yen, 13 US. And the second design features her name flanked by her mask/crown thingy, and you can get it on a black t-shirt, a tote bag for 2,750 yen, 19 US, a face towel for 2,200 yen, 15 US, and an acrylic stand. And for the Keel/Diana collection, we also get 2 designs per character. A fancy heraldry version with their name, and a more stylized version with their face in a shape. A circle for Diana, and a hexagon for Keel. And you can get these designs on the same items for the same prices as the Hamon collection. A white or black t-shirt, a tote bag, a bath towel, a face towel, a mug, or an acrylic stand. The Flay collection then is a little bit different. There's only one design, and it is a sleek minimalist design with an image of Flay inside of her name. And you can get this design on a t-shirt for 4,500 yen, 30 US, a face towel for 1,980 yen, 13 US, a pouch for 1,650 yen, 11 US, or an acrylic keychain for 880 yen, 6 US. And more acrylic things come to us from Mercury. For 2,200 yen, 15 US, you can get an acrylic stand with Suleta's famous phrase, "If you run, you gain 1, if you move forward, you gain 2." For 3,500 yen, 24 US, there's a really nice acrylic stand featuring the ending of the series. And then there's also some more of those flying / floating acrylic keychains, which are taken from the main promotional art of Season 2. For 1,760 yen a piece, 12 US, there is Elan number 5, Cecilia and Roji, or Felsi. And for 2,420 yen, 16 US, there is Sophie and Norea. You can use them as a keychain, or you can hang them from the included base to really have them floating around. The last thing on Friday then was the newest lineup of What's in My Bag, designed to make all the items that you would need in your bag themed after one Gundam related thing. And on Friday that was the Strike Freedom and Kira Yamato, and on Monday it was Char Aznable. For 3,685 yen, 25 US, you can get their design on a really cool pouch that looks just like a small paper package. For 1,980 yen, 13 US, there's a more regular looking round pouch. For 3,685 yen, 25 US, there's a hard case. For 3,080 yen, 21 US, a reusable eco bag. And for 1,650 yen, 11 US, a book cover. Next up then, we got a new t-shirt designed by Studio 696 for 3,850 yen, 26 US. And this time it is the Gold God Superior Kaiser. So instead of getting a super deformed Gundam, we are getting a full-sized one this time around. And alongside it, the other designs are of course also getting a restock, being the Final Formula, the Knight of Light, Goninshu, Mass Commander, and Satan, Black Dragon, Neo Black Dragon, and Baby Dragon. And then finally today, pre-orders went up for a Federation, Xeon, Char, or Amuro inspired nylon bag, which goes for 4,950 yen, 34 US, and 2 acrylic stands of Camille punching the shit out of people. For 1,782 yen, 12 US, there's one of him punching Quattro, and one of him punching Jared because he said that Camille was a girl's name. And Camille definitely has a point. It's not a girl's name, it's a plant's name. And all of those Bankure items are slated for a January release. And as always, let's quickly wrap things up with the polls. A few weeks ago, Gundam.info wanted to know what our favorite team from the Gundam build series was. And the winner was extremely clear, with 60.2%, Sei and Reiji won by one of the largest margins that we've seen so far. And I'm honestly not surprised, because the first series isn't just iconic because it was the first, but because it was also simply the best. There just really was something magical about it. So it goes without saying that the second place, being Build Divers from Re-Rise, were pretty far behind with only 20.4%. But they themselves did have twice the votes of third place, which were the Tri-Fighters with 10.2%. And then in last place, we have the Build Divers from Build Divers with only 9%. In the currently ongoing one then, things are much more exciting. Apparently, the 12th of December is Queen Day in Japan, so Gundam.info wants to know who our favorite Gundam Queen is. And one of the options really surprised me. There's Maria Pure Harmonia from Victory Gundam, Relina Peacecraft from Gundam Wing, Diana Soleil from Turn A, and Chibity Crockett from G Gundam. And it took me like a second too long to realize that, oh yeah, he's the Queen of Spades, so he technically qualifies for this poll. And in fact, he's not even last. On Gundam.info, he only barely pulls ahead of Maria, but on Twitter, he's actually in a pretty comfortable third place. So, good on you, Chibity. You really are the queen. And then fighting for first place, we have Rolina and Diana. On Gundam.info, Rolina is leading, but only by literally 1 vote. Whereas on Twitter, it is Diana who's in the lead. So it's still going to be interesting to see what the end results for this poll are going to be when the 2 versions are combined. Personally, I'm rooting for Queen Rolina, but if you want to let your voice be heard, I'll of course have the links down below. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. A big thanks to HUF for sending over some of their apparel, another big thanks to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.